And I think one of the most important things for us to understand is that clients expect it. They expect us to take care of their needs at times when disaster happens. So without a plan in place that you can act on, you find yourself reacting to the situation. And I think a business continuity plan is important for everybody to understand. It gives them a process to follow. So in my mind, continuity would be a plan that every member of the organization has to follow. They have to understand their accountability to it, how to translate that to their own teams, and how to follow the direction of the company or the corporation to ensure they're focused on the right thing. Succession, on the other hand, it is a transition of business from current ownership to new ownership. And the plan should outline all the rules and parameters how both parties should act, given timelines, input, and what's required to make sure that that business continues into the future. Contingency, well, contingency to me is plan B. If something happens and the plan doesn't go as you thought it would, you have something to fall back on. But it's less formal and it's less detailed than both continuity or succession. Well, quite frankly, I think it's like everything else. It's all about process. And without process, people will make it up as they go along. And the result is that then they have to be faced with the consequences of their decision. And if they don't have a plan and they don't have a process to follow, then I think not much will happen. Well, first of all, for business continuity, you have to identify what the biggest risks are to the company in the event that disaster strikes. We're living in it right now. And you need to have agreement on what would be the most mission critical piece for the company to survive. And then it goes all the way down the line. And unless you are well planned and you deal with every aspect of your business, and it'll change by business, depending on the complexity of the business, the size of the business, the number of employees. But from the largest corporations down to the individual advisor, these are the details that must be put in place and identified up front, so then you act in that way. Well, I think absolutely. I mean, it's all part of being a professional and running it as a business. And this becomes part of your brand. If you have a business, if you can demonstrate that you have a business continuity plan in place, and it becomes part of your branding, more importantly, it becomes part of what I would refer to as your value proposition. Everyone in the client value stream needs to be able to answer this question. Why should I consider doing business with you? Or why should I keep doing business with you? And you have to be able to demonstrate in your value proposition and your elevator 5 key elements that you can explain to your client. Business continuity is just part of it. Advisor, and I've been licensed for 45 years. So as an advisor, and everybody's got to understand their own Peter principle, like what am I good at and what shouldn't I be good at? So as an advisor running a small business, the very first thing I would do is I would go to my MGA or I go to my contracted supplier company. They already have the process. And this is a time when they need to demonstrate their value to their advisors and give it up. Here's the plan, here's the process, here's how you go about doing it, here's the model. I mean, if I don't need to think about what to do and I just need to do it, then that comes back to the process. And if we just followed the process, then we got a chance of being able to execute it along the way. Otherwise, like I say, we're just making it up as we go along. So it's there. And you know what? If all else fails, go to Google. If you go to Google and say, how do I build business continuity? I'll guarantee you it'll be there. Now here's the key point. Will you do it?